Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great day. So this is a clip from a previously recorded video. This is a much shorter clip of it. But as always, not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. And I'm invested in closing companies. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And let's get into the clip. And let's get into the next one here, which is going to be on HUT 8. HUT 8 is also, there's also an issue here with HUT 8 that I have a little bit, and I'll point this out to you guys. Okay, so HUT 8 mining production and operation updates for June. Here's what we have. 120 Bitcoin were generated for the month of June. That equates to about 4 Bitcoin per day. This is where it gets a little confusing for me here. They say 217 Bitcoin, 100% of the Bitcoin produced in May, and 70 Bitcoin produced in June were sold during the month for proceeds totaling 7.9 million. This doesn't coincide well for me, at least from the data that I have been tracking for them that's being reported monthly by them. Okay. Total balance of Bitcoin in reserve is 9,136. 8,289 of those are unencumbered. Installed ASIC hash rate capacity at our Alberta facilities was 2.6 exahash at the end of the month. That's kind of what we have at right now. Let me see. They produced efficiency-wise 46.2 BTC per exahash on June. Operational highlights. In June 2023, our repair and restoration efforts at our Drumheller, Alberta site continued as the team repaired more than 3,700 hash boards throughout the month. Our focus is on reinstalling and energizing of the repaired miners while continuing to complete repairs on the other miners. So they've obviously had issues there. They're trying to get that resolved. It looks like they had an electrical issue, which possibly knocked out some of these miners and hash boards, and that's why they're having to repair a lot of them. They've stated that they have, they've had issues, and as they repair them, other ones basically fail on them, and they have to repair those as well. So it's been kind of one of those chasing your own tail, basically, until you get everything figured out. They did, let me see, and that's about it for it. Okay, let me see here. And that's the amendment. They're supposed to get to 7.5 exahash, I believe, when they merge with USBTC. Yep. Okay, and then they also signed a 5-year agreement for their HPC side of business things, I believe. Earlier this month, the Health Authority for Southern British Columbia signed a 5-year agreement for co-location services with HUT 8 at the Kelowna data center. So that's good there. Okay, so let's talk about this here first, and then we'll get into everything else. So if we look at HUT 8, let's see, HUT 8, this is what they reported the prior months, in May and April. Excuse me. So in April, they reported of, let me see, BTC HUDL of 9,265. They mined 132 Bitcoin. They didn't report of selling anything in April. So these all numbers still match up here. May, they reported 147 Bitcoin being mined and a HUDL of 9,233. That basically equates to 179 Bitcoins are being sold from here to there, because we're including what they actually mined, adding that to that, and then subtracting this from here. They sold 179. They're saying that they sold the full amount in 100% of Bitcoin produced in May and 70 Bitcoin produced in June were sold. So they're saying they sold 100% of it, which they actually sold more. It looks like they sold 179. So I need clarification on this, if this is just an error on their part, or it was an error on their part reporting it for the production for May. June, they say that they sold only 70. I show that they actually sold 217 for the total, which is what they're reporting here, right? So that's where the confusion comes in a little bit. And they're saying that they received 7.9 million. I have them at 6.02, well, basically 6 million in June and 4.9 million in May. So I don't know where they're getting the numbers from, or if they sold actually something here in April that they didn't report. But I looked at the numbers here, and this is what was being reported. Okay, so either I am wrong somewhere here, or they had an issue again, like Hive did last week. So we'll see what we can come up with here. If you guys know anything, let me know if any of this stuff is incorrect. Okay, so that's that one. We covered that. Let's see here. HUT 8, 221 million shares outstanding. Stock prices at $3.58. They're valued at 782 million market cap right now. They've had pretty good performance here the last 12 weeks. They're up 54.9 from 12 weeks, 89.7% up from 8 weeks. From 4 weeks, they're up 72.8%, and last week they were up 12.63%. So they've been doing actually pretty good as far as stock prices are concerned. Monthly Bitcoins mined, or let's take a look at the HODL first. 9,233 HODL is valued at 283 million right now, sorry, for that one. BTC mined monthly. You can see that they basically peaked in August of last year, 375. This was when they were still mining with their GPUs Ethereum. After that, September was a big cut for them. October, they went up a little bit here, and then November, And ever since then, they've been kind of dropping each month going forward. And they've had nothing but issues with their facilities, lawsuits, and everything else. That has definitely dragged the production way down here. And they're not growing much. So each month the network hash rate increases, their production is going to be down even more. Okay. So that's that one. You can see their monthly difference in BTC production. Their BTC HODL has been pretty stable, right about 9,200 here since January. Up and down a little bit between that, but hasn't gone over that. We're down a little bit now to 9,136 based on that. So they are at least using the money here to pay for operations, expenses, things like that, instead of diluting the hell out of shareholders. Okay. So BTC per exahash efficiency has also been coming down here as the months progress. That's expected, especially with network hash rate increasing. You're going to have a lower efficiency there as that happens, but it's still pretty low compared to other miners, as we've covered before. BTC sold, you can see how much they've been selling based on my data here that I have in my math. Hash rate, you can see that they peaked in November of last year, which was 3.2 exahash, but this was also their GPU mining as well. And then they were at 2.5, and then they've kind of stayed there, 2.5, 2.6 almost roughly, but they still have problems with some of the facilities, and they're not operating fully as it is. Okay, monthly BTC revenue, you can see that the revenue peaked in August of last year, and then it's been down to a low of December was 2.7 million. They're kind of like within 3 to 4 million here, it looks like, recently. May was a good month for them because of the network transaction fees helped quite a bit there. Hash rate difference, you can see what's been going on there monthly from month to month. BTC sold value, you can see that they've been selling approximately, it looks like, well, I see almost 10 million here in February and March combined, and you got another 10 million here in May and June as well. Okay. Quarterly revenue and things like that, we've talked about that when they report their quarterly metrics or quarterly financials. Institutions here. Institutions did increase to 158 from 156, so that's good. Shares also increased to 22.94 million from 22.69 million. That's a percentage of 10.37% compared to 10.26. So that's good there. We still have one strong buy rating, one buy rating, two hold ratings for them by analysts. And price targets increased a little bit here to $2.45 for the high, average up to $1.76. And the low is up to $1.13 compared to where it was before. Okay. Now, as far as their operations side of things, let's see here. Based on what they reported of being mined in June, it looks like they were operating about 18.78 days. But they're basically running everything that they can right now that's available to run. The other miners are basically just shut off, and based on what they actually report as being their hash rate, it's like they're running for 18.78 days, right? So definitely a big hit for them. They were at 22.1 days in May, so they're even worse in June than they were in May as it is. Okay, so based on all of this, we can see here that their current quarter revenue was 11.18. This is estimated. The last 3 quarters, which is actuals, was 44.4 million. Combined total was at 55 million. 50% net income from gross revenue. We're looking at 27.8 million. PE of 10. I haven't a PE of 10. We could go to PE of 15 possibly for them. But their growth, until they actually merge with USBTC, that's definitely their growth has been atrocious here over the last year. So I got them between $1.26 and $1.89. They're at $3.58. I think they're overvalued. I think most of their value is coming in from their HODL position, not from their hashing actually. That's kind of where I have them at. So I think they're overvalued based on this. But given that Bitcoin goes up in value, obviously that's going to help them out as well. Okay, so let me know what you guys think of that one. Obviously, they got to solve a lot of the problems that they have with the hash boards, the lawsuits, everything else, the USBTC merger. They got to get that done, and they got to grow their hash rate before the halving event. Okay, that's my 2 cents on them.